Hey guys, welcome back to I'll Read What She's Reading. I'm Kennedy.
I'm Michaela.
And I'm Reggie.
And today we're going to talk about our book club book for April, which was The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly
Jackson.
Thank you, because I forgot her last name. We're really excited to talk about this book. It was a good one. But before we dive into the book, we're going to tell you guys what our book club book for May is, which is, drumroll please, Funny Story by Emily Henry.
If you know us, we love Emily Henry.
I mean, it is the only author that we have had as a book club book pick twice.
Yes.
We wanted to do a fluffy rom-com to kind of switch it up from thriller. And I've seen actually kind of polarizing opinions on this book on TikTok.
Really?
Oh.
I saw one girl's TikTok saying that this is the first book ever where she did not like the main male character.
Interesting. See,
So
I saw a review from someone I follow that said they loved it because it reminded them of Nick Miller from New Girl.
Oh, I'm sold.
She said it gives like New Girl vibes.
Okay. I like New Girl. So
I saw this TikTok from Emily Henry. It was really cute. She went through all of her books and basically related them to a Taylor Swift album. And she said that the first half of this book is, what's Taylor Swift's new album? Tortured Post.
Yeah.
She said the first half is that.
Oh.
So kind of sad.
I guess. I don't know.
Huh. It was supposed to be a funny story.
Maybe it's supposed to mislead you.
Oh.
Anyways, that's our book club book for May.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited. It just came out like
2 days ago or something like that.
Yeah, April 20 something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's new.
It's a new one.
It'll be a good one. If you haven't read Emily Henry, now's your chance.
All right.
Now that we know our book club look for May, let's get into the reappearance of Rachel Price. First, let's chat about our overall rating. Michaela.
I have mixed feelings about this book. And I think the more I've read thriller books, the more it's ruined thriller books for me. Meaning a lot of the things were kind of predictable to me. Mm-hmm. There was one thing that shocked me, but besides that, I was like, okay. I knew the who about almost everything. I just didn't know the why.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
So what was the shocking part for you?
It was the sister.
Me too.
But besides that,
Interesting.
yeah. And she left a lot of breadcrumbs, and I feel like I just could put them all together. If that makes sense. I just got all of the hints really easily.
Did you guys feel like, since this is our fifth book by her? Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you guys feel like, do you feel like you can catch on to the author's writing style and kind of see, oh, she leaves these breadcrumbs?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt with this book. I feel like I'm understanding her brain a little bit. Did either of you get it from Barnes & Noble?
I got it from
read it on my
Amazon.
Kindle.
Okay. In the back of the Barnes & Noble edition, it's kind of cool because she photocopied her note cards about how she writes her books.
Oh.
And how she kind of knows the who, the what, the why, all that stuff. It was really cool to like read her notes and see how her brain works.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
That is cool.
Sorry, I interrupted you. What did you rate
I think
it?
my rating is a 3.5.
Pretty solid, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's all I have to say.
Okay, that's great.
I mean, we can talk more, but I'll let you guys do your ratings.
Reggie?
I gave it 4.5.
Okay.
And I mean, I haven't read a thriller in a while. I really don't know if I've read one since we did The Only One Left. And so it was a nice change of pace for me. So I really enjoyed it. I finished it very quickly because I was so into it. I mean, it wasn't like a 5-star read for me for a few reasons. I think the reason I rated it so highly is because I just really like the way Holly Jackson does mystery thriller. Honestly, I would read more thrillers if they were kind of written more like this, where it's not so dark. It's almost a little more lighthearted and kind of like young adult. Sometimes other thriller books, it's hard for me to read because one, they sometimes are just a little too much. I don't know. I just think her books are a little more fun. It's like fun to read a thriller, whereas other thriller books, it's like I'm reading it to read it, and it's not necessarily like a fun read for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I gave it 4.5.
I can't wait to hear why you didn't give it 5.
I just didn't really love a certain aspect of the ending.
Which you'll probably tell, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I'm right smack dab in the middle. I rated it 4 stars. I agree with Reggie. I love the way Holly Jackson writes thrillers. I think that, I mean, I was on this weird thriller kick, and she just writes them so differently. I found myself while reading this, I couldn't believe that it was young adult for some reason. There were, I don't know if it was like the language or some of the themes. I don't know. I couldn't believe that it was young adult. The one thing that I kind of had a hard time with was the beginning of the book for some reason. It's funny because I feel like I read some other reviews of other people, and like Reggie, they were in the book and they were just invested, and I was only invested, like I had to know what was happening next, probably the last 70 pages. The first 150 pages was really hard for me to get through, and it's weird because I didn't read the synopsis and I didn't know that Rachel came back. Obviously, you can assume that by the title. Duh. But when she came back, I wanted to chuck my book across the room because I was so mad. I don't know why that
Me too.
just ticked me off, because I didn't know. I mean, she comes back based on the title, but I don't know why I was so mad by that.
I thought that she was going to come back because they figured it out.
Oh.
Instead of her just like appearing. So when she appeared, I was like, what the flip is going to happen the rest of the time?
She just like, I think it's the way that she showed up.
Yeah.
The fact that that bell just happened upon her mom because she
Yeah.
ran away. I was like, really?
In the
Okay.
cemetery too.
Yeah.
Like, how did her mom know to go to the cemetery?
I don't know.
Yeah, that was a little weird.
Yeah.
But very fun. Would recommend it to a lot of people, because I do think typically thrillers have these themes that are really heavy, or it's almost like thriller writers try to be as crazy and not racy,
Like dark and twisty.
Like Gillian Flynn writes the darkest thrillers ever, and I do like how Holly Jackson does thrillers. But can I tell you guys what I wish would have happened? I wrote this in my review. I know, Reggie, you saw it.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to see Pip on the documentary team.
Oh, that would have been
Wouldn't
cool.
that have been so fun? A little cameo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
But yeah, I rated it 4 stars. Very good. I probably will never rate a thriller 5 stars,
Yeah.
because there's no way someone could completely surprise me. I would probably guess at least 1 or 2 things in a thriller.
I think after like reading The Silent Patient and Verity, like just the shock factor is just gone down.
Yeah.
For like thrillers, at least for me.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think anything can shock me anymore.
It's hard to break out of that. Like every thriller is kind of the same.
Yeah.
It's hard to break out of that.
But I agree with you guys that Holly Jackson does write it in a really cool way.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's really good at it.
Like, for example, like Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which is that's a series of hers, if you didn't know that already. If you liked The Reappearance of Rachel Price and you haven't read Good Girl's Guide to Murder, you would love it. Or even like Five Survive by her. She writes them in a way that it's like, it could be kind of like a dark, cool movie, but it could also be like a fun kind of like teen drama.
Riverdale.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I like about her stuff. That's like, yeah.
If you guys had, okay, let's rank, because we've read all of her books currently that she's published. What is your guys' ranking as far as like Good Girl's Guide to Murder, Five Survived, Reappearance of Rachel Price?
I think for me, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder beats The Reappearance of Rachel Price.
100%.
And then I would say, what?
I said I'm going to disagree. I think it's because Good Girl's Guide to Murder, I guessed the entire thing
Okay.
by the end.
Okay.
And I was like, there was
You
nothing-
guessed never mind, I can't say it.
Wait, are you talking the series as a whole or just the first book?
just the first book.
Okay, I'm talking the
Yeah, yeah.
series as a whole.
Oh, series
I'm
as a
series as a whole.
Oh, I feel like it's kind of hard. I mean, maybe I would say Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but I think it's because there's more to it.
True.
Those other 3 books.
But if you were doing just the first book, you'd put this over Good Girl's Guide to Murder.
Yeah.
So is it a consensus that Five Survive is number 3 for all of us?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was still really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
for
it's
sure.
a cool concept too. Plot, I don't know. The twist in that one wasn't as like cool to me.
Or were you going to put Five Survive as number 2?
No.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't.
Okay.
I had a hard time getting through that book for some reason.
Okay.
It felt incredibly drawn out to me, even though it was
Yeah.
in the night and within hours.
Yeah.
So I think that's what made it hard for me to get through. That book was, I'm like, this is so long, but it's within a few hours.
Like
so
12 hours or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Reggie said, if you guys haven't read any other of Holly Jackson's books, but you really enjoyed this one, you'll love any of her other ones.
Yeah.
You can get what you get from this book is exactly what you can expect from all of her other ones.
Yeah. I will say, I did not like Belle as a character.
I didn't really either.
I really disliked her. I felt like she was being the biggest brat and no one was putting her in her place. I understand that's her personality, but she was so incredibly rude to literally everyone, and I can't believe an adult didn't say chill out.
I mean, look at who her father was.
I know, but that's true. But even the people that were doing the documentary, or her aunt and uncle, or her cousin, I feel like, I don't know. I just can't imagine saying the things she said and getting away with it.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't have much of a reaction to what she said. They'd sometimes be like, Belle.
Yeah.
But it wasn't I don't know.
I did sometimes love her quippy responses, but yeah, she was mean to everyone.
I mean, some of them are cool, but her character was just very unlikable to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also why I think I didn't rate it as highly, because Pip is a character is way top tier compared to Belle.
Oh yeah.
And I understand we get 3 books with Pip, but I just did not like her. I wouldn't want another book with her.
I can see that for sure.
Anyways,
but let's talk about her and Ash. I actually really kind of liked their little relationship.
I did too. I wish there was more of it though.
I didn't quite understand it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because she felt like she could trust him, but it felt like most of her her inner dialogue about him didn't really reflect the way she was acting with him.
I think she was just in denial. Oh, how much she liked him in her mind.
Once they kissed, I was kind of like, oh, so she likes him, because she kind of just kept being like, he's weird.
Which it was
I
also,
don't know.
I was so interested because throughout the book, for some reason, up in the back of my mind, I was thinking, Ash somehow has to play a part in this, because I just couldn't understand. And I get he was this quirky guy, but really she only talked about the way she didn't describe anybody else's clothes but him. So for some reason I was thinking there's got to be a reason she's describing in detail what he's wearing, other than the fact that he's this quirky dude.
Yeah.
And that was just it.
I just felt like the relationship was just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't even really have a relationship, but the first time they kissed, I was like,
well, and how much older is he than her?
I think he was 19.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because I'm like, I also had a hard time trying to picture the scale of what this documentary team was, It
sounded like it was a 4-people team.
Because they did what was it, a penguin, or what was the documentary they had done before? The dogs.
Yeah.
I'm like, you gotta have a pretty high budget to go do something like that, or also to come to America.
And stay
I felt
at a
like it had to
hotel.
have been a pretty low budget documentary team, especially if they're having a 19-year-old guy videoing the whole thing himself.
Yeah. From my understanding, that he was just more an assistant, but then what's his name? Ramsey saw that he was kind of building a little bit of a relationship, and so he's like, okay, go get some with just her, because maybe she'll open up more than. So from my understanding, he was just an assistant, and it was a pity hire.
Yeah, because he's his brother-in-law.
Yes.
Yeah. I got the vibe it was literally a 4-person team, because they only mentioned, 4 people, because there was Ramsey, there was Ash, and then there was those 2 other people that they would mention their names. So I think it was probably a pretty low budget. How about though, I took a picture of this when she deletes all the footage. I just thought this was so cute. When she deletes all the footage and he shows up on her porch and he was like, I would have deleted it if you would have just asked me.
Yeah.
I thought that was so cute.
Yeah, it was cute. Really cute. My initial reaction when she was deleting, breaking all of the drives and stuff, I was like, there's multiple backups. They're not stupid.
Yeah.
Like as wedding photographers, I was like, okay, this isn't their only, like I knew that they were gonna have another.
Well, yeah, and then he makes the comment like, I backed it up to the cloud. Like,
yeah, I was like, duh. I don't know.
Also, no way in real life would a person who's putting on a documentary delete all that from the cloud.
No.
Just for the sake of their family. He would want the best documentary possible, which that's fine.
That's all I also didn't understand, because she was so incredibly rude. And he at the end was like, you're gonna make me tear up. I was like, what? You have a soft spot for the person that literally belittled you every second? I don't know. I guess I just didn't like her. I didn't like her. I didn't like her character.
That's okay. I liked Carter. Carter was cute. Okay. I think we should talk about our favorite moments. I mean, I'll go first.
Yeah.
My favorite moment, I think, out of the whole book, and what shocked me the most, was when the bomb was dropped that Carter was her sister. I did not see that coming.
Mm-hmm.
I was walking on the treadmill at the gym, and my jaw dropped to the floor. I shut my book and just like stared into abyss for a good 30 seconds because I did not see that coming at all.
Yeah, that was the one thing that surprised me. But it makes sense, sort of.
I caught on to it.
Well,
The thing I didn't get was the grandpa.
Oh, so yours was reversed.
Yeah.
I knew her dad or her grandpa had something to do with it, because the fact that she kept saying that she trusted her dad so much, I'm like, there's going to be a switch on her dad.
Oh, yeah.
And then the fact that her grandpa had dementia, I was like,
I knew
there's
that was
something
fishy. I just thought her grandpa knew something. I didn't think he was like involved in, and the whole like, yeah. The grandpa being the kidnapper, keeping her hostage kind of thing is what shocked me. But I saw the thing coming with Carter just because of how much Rachel wanted her to be part of things, and how it had described that Carter had similar features, but she was like the prettier one, and she had like I think she has the same color of hair as the mom. I don't know. I just remember because I was trying to write down descriptions of people so I could fan cast.
Mm-hmm.
So I caught on to that. And then when Carter came up to her and was like, I have something I want to tell you, I was like, she's going to say, because especially too in the beginning, I made note of the fact that they said, we tried for like 10 years to get pregnant, and then we had this miracle baby like right after she disappeared. I was like, I was just putting those pieces together.
How about the fact that she did an ancestry DNA test? And I've done an ancestry DNA test. There is nowhere to check that the police can't check your DNA, basically. So I'm like, the fact that there's ancestry DNA out there that shows that they're sisters, I'm like, in real life, someone's gonna figure that out, and then they're gonna put all the pieces together. But for the sake of a thriller, I'll let it slide.
Yeah, the whole ending was a little bit unrealistic for me, but
that was the thing we don't have to jump into that yet, but
yeah.
Did you have a favorite part?
I mean, it spooked me the most, but my favorite part probably was when the stalker was in the house, because that, like, you know, I want to be freaked out in a thriller, and that probably was like the freakiest moment for me. And so that probably was like my favorite part, because it was so well written and I was like genuinely freaked out in like the thriller book. I know it's not like a cute heartful moment for it being my favorite part, but that probably was like my heart rate was pounding, and I was like, oh my gosh, someone come help her. I really wanted Ash to come help her, but I understand why it was Rachel. But yeah,
I could picture that scene completely, like just straight up movie scene.
Yes,
she did write it very, very well.
Yeah, I like it was so vivid in my mind, and so that's probably like my favorite part, because that was just like freaky. It was freaky, and I was by myself,
checking all the windows, and your doors, making sure they're locked.
Yeah, literally, I was like, is it locked?
Okay, Reggie.
I was gonna say something along those lines, but to mix it up, I just really enjoy reading the whole monologue of how everything happens. When you finally are like, okay, all the puzzle pieces are now complete and fit together. I will say this part like really stressed me out, but when Jeff showed up to the thing, I was like, okay, because for a while I kept being like, okay, it's over, and then I was looking on my Kindle and be like, you have 80% left.
Yeah,
like there's 20% left, and I'm like, something else has got to happen.
Yeah.
So when Jeff showed up, that was kind of like fun because I knew something was going to go down. And literally things went down. So
They did.
yeah.
For a second, I thought Carter fell off the cliff.
Me too.
And I was like, excuse me?
I was so confused for a second. And then Carter was like, I did that. I did it. And I was like, oh, so you didn't fall off. Because it just said like he grabbed on
Yeah.
to them.
And
Or
then it
him.
didn't-
Maybe it said him and I just didn't catch on. But I thought Carter went. I was like, oh, wait, what?
I also liked, and you guys can tell me if what you believe on this.
Ooh, I know where you're going with this.
Do you think that Carter actually killed him? Or do you think that Rachel killed him and she was trying to protect Carter by saying he was alive when I got to him?
I think she's trying to protect Carter.
I think so too.
Oh, I don't think that.
You think she killed him?
Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think she legit did because I don't know. It's just my gut feeling. Because I, in the back of my brain when they fell, I was like, one of them's not dead completely.
Okay.
So I'm going to stick with that. Okay. And so when she said that, I was like, that makes sense.
I mean, it would be kind of cool for her to be like, just like a full circle thing to be like, see ya.
Yeah.
Like, but a part of me, because there was like a moment where like, I was about to say Pip, where Belle looks at her mom, like they kind of looked at each other and she kind of said something. I couldn't quite tell. So that's why I wanted to ask. Because I'm like, a part of me is like, maybe she did it to protect Carter. Because Carter just kept saying, I killed him. And she was like, actually, you didn't. I did. To protect her. But then, I guess I can see it either way.
Yeah.
But
I mean, she left it up for deciphering unless she straight up was like, yeah, she was doing that to protect her. You decipher it in your own way, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was just my initial thought, was that one of them wasn't dead. And so when she went down, I was like, she's gonna have to eat.
She's gonna have to go down there and get her hands dirty.
Yeah.
I would not survive a thriller book.
I would not either.
Okay, let's talk about our least favorite moments. Reggie?
I think the ending, the thing that bugged me the most was how everything went down with Sherry at the end.
Okay.
I just feel like it felt a little unrealistic because yes, Carter finally knows who her real mom is, but I'm like, and yeah, her mom was a little bit of emotionally abusive to her a little bit, but I'm like, you're telling me that this girl that you've known to be your mother and you just lost your dad, you're telling me that you straight up just want her to disappear? And I don't know if it was like to protect Sherry. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just felt like that was kind of weird that it was like, see you, mom. Like,
Yeah.
peace out. It just felt, I don't know. There's just something about it that really bothered me. I mean, I wasn't sure how they were going to do it anyways, but like, I don't know.
Well, when Sherry goes to that small town in Canada
Yeah,
and can't find Jeff or Charlie,
Yeah.
I mean,
can't come back.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know how else she could have written it to change unless it was Sherry comes and it's girl power and they all love each other, but I don't see that happening. And maybe it is because, I mean, throughout the book you see Sherry belittle Carter for what she's eating or kind of being, a little bit of that psychologically abusive vibe, and maybe that's why. Did you have a least favorite moment, Michaela?
Probably the same thing. It just wasn't very realistic in my opinion for all of the reasons you guys said. I also just the family in general.
Makes you thankful and grateful for your own family.
Yeah. I also just wish it would have went down differently with Sherry. Because I feel like she was a little bit in the dark. She had her suspicions, but she wasn't fully like knew everything. And I don't know. This is how I wish it would have gone down. This is how I thought it was going to go down. Was that she was going to show up and they were going to just set the record straight and be like, you have a choice. You can either like stay and live here and live peacefully with this knowledge and not go anything, or you're gonna die.
Or you can go to Canada.
Yeah. Or like never come back because we have all this stuff on you. I wish they would have given her the option, and I feel like that would have been better, so she could still, because like 16 years of raising someone, and even though she's not a real mom, like to give the choice of like still letting her be in her life, but you know, setting boundaries and stuff like that. But they were straight up just like, you have to leave, bye.
Ruthless.
I wish there would have been like 2 options, like kind of what you said, like kind of like a girl power, and just have her the option of like laying down the line, because they already had all that stuff on her.
Yeah.
And she didn't know that all of the incriminating stuff was also on them, if that makes sense. Twisting the story to be that they're not giving away all their information, that Rachel has all this stuff on her too, but saying, we have all this stuff on you, and if you decide to not be quiet, we'll go to the police or whatever.
Well, and I think she also didn't want to have to tell Sherry that her husband was dead.
Yeah.
Well, she could have said that
Yeah.
Jeff had left.
Yeah.
Well, they could have said same thing. They gave him the option, and he decided to not.
True. Another thing, I also feel like obviously Rachel didn't get to raise Carter, but like I feel like she had to have been grateful that Carter got to be raised by who she was raised by. So I felt like it was kind of like in a way, a lack of respect to just be like, I don't know.
I'm trying to understand why in the world it had to be, well, I mean, why was it that Sherry had to wear a fake bump and pretend like she was pregnant? Why couldn't they just have said, hey, we adopted this baby from a mom who couldn't take care of this child? Why did it have to be that she was faking a pregnancy? Because then it makes me wonder, okay, did they have some sort of inkling from the beginning? You know what I'm saying? Like, why was it a fake pregnancy?
It was because of looks.
Oh, maybe.
Because like the brothers were the same.
But according to, I mean, didn't Jeff say he didn't know until Rachel came back that Carter was her daughter? So from the beginning, like when the dad came and said, hey, I know this woman who's giving birth in X amount of time and she needs her baby to be adopted. Why were they faking a pregnancy from the beginning? Just doesn't.
Maybe also like suspicious with, it's a smaller town, right? If they adopted and I don't know, police got involved, or like, you know, it probably was because of police stuff.
You have to go to the court.
You have to
and
legally adopt. So they probably faked it so it didn't have to deal with any of that.
Okay.
That's what
that makes sense.
I would probably assume, because it was right during his trial.
But wouldn't you, as Jeff and Sherry, be like, why can't we why do we have to fake a pregnancy? Why can't we just adopt this child? You know what I mean? Because they didn't know.
Maybe it's
maybe
also they were so desperate.
True.
That they were like, we'll do anything.
True.
And it could have also been like the grandpa's idea to like fake the pregnant. I don't know.
I mean, it probably was.
Yeah.
His idea. And he probably had some reason. I would have this would have made this book so unrealistic if miraculously the grandfather remembered and just could tell his side of the story.
I would have liked like a POV from
like a flashback.
Yeah, or like some sort of flashback.
Because what was his motivation behind killing / taking Rachel for his son? Why did he do that?
He didn't want
they had blackmail on him.
Because he killed
that's right.
Killed his wife.
That's right. Yeah.
I also just thought it was crazy that he was like, oh yeah, I'll just like deliver my grandbaby in the back of this thing.
Well, he wasn't even there.
Yeah, I know. She like delivered her own baby, but still, I'm like, you feel confident enough that you can just deliver your grandchild from your daughter-in-law. I would feel a little weirded out if my father-in-law was delivering my baby, but
I mean, he had her stuck in a
but
thing.
I'm like,
what was he to do?
I don't know. I just felt also so bad for her, because I'm like, as someone who literally just gave birth, I can't imagine having to recover from that in her circumstance.
Yeah. Do you guys like
Holy
when
cow.
I texted you guys and I was like, Rachel gave the grandpa a stroke? I just knew that the grandpa was, I don't know.
He had something to do with it.
Yeah.
It was too easy that he had a stroke and couldn't remember.
I also, from the little things that she was dropping off for us with the mug, after that moment, I was like, the dad did it.
Yeah.
Him gaslighting Belle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also like his reaction to like seeing his wife, I was like,
A part of me was like, maybe there was a second where I thought maybe the grandpa is faking this memory loss.
I kind of thought that
because she came back after. Because remember, he kept saying like, I will let her go, or I'm keeping her alive just in case Charlie changes his mind.
Yeah.
And remember, they're sitting on the couch having this interview, and he made this comment like, I would just hug my wife and tell her I missed her the moment I saw her. So then in my head, I was thinking, maybe the grandpa really is coherent, and when he heard Charlie say that, he let her go. Obviously, that's not the case.
Yeah.
But for a second, I thought that was my theory.
I wrote a note down that, like, when they were like, we're going to show you some home movies, there was like the dialogue of where he was like, you left the door open and you didn't the garbage can. I just remember thinking that, I'm like, why would they include that dialogue in the home? Like, why were they showing them this home movie?
Yeah.
Why did this get written in there? And then it came up again, and someone actually on the Fable, our book club on Fable, said, there's something going on with these trash cans or something. They're like, why does this trash can keep getting mentioned? And then I was like, wait, what is being mentioned about the trash cans? And then it came up again where he was telling Belle, he's like, you didn't tie the trash cans down. And I was like, yeah. And then the mug thing, I was like, oh,
Daddy-o.
But I had a feeling from the beginning, because it just seemed, everyone was like, I just feel like in a lot of situations, even in real life, if something happens to a wife, everyone is going to go, the husband's always the number one suspect.
Yeah.
And so I, in a way, felt like she was trying to, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like gaslight.
Well, gaslight would work. That's not the word I was looking for, but
I feel like I know what you're saying, but I can't also think of the word.
And people listening are probably like, it's this. But
I feel like kind of the same, because I was like, she was giving all these hints, but she was gaslighting us to like be like, no, it's not the husband. I was like, but I feel like it is. And she kept being like, it's not the husband. I'm like, but I feel like it is.
It got to the point where it was mentioned so much that it was not him.
Yeah.
That I was like, okay, it's got to be him.
yeah.
Yeah. But then I was like, is it? Am I being dumb? Am I just...
That's too easy.
Yes. That was exactly my thoughts, was like, it's too easy.
But I will say she did a really good job at the beginning, because I suspected everyone. I swear at one point I thought everybody was involved except for Belle and Carter, because they were too young. But I was convinced for a second that Mr. Tripp, was that his name?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was the one. I was convinced that there was a time where I suspected everyone until about the middle of the book, and then I was like, okay, it's got to be something with the dad and the grandpa.
I just feel like the entire family was involved.
Yeah.
Because their reaction when the family came over, like with Sherry and, is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff, I was like, I feel like you guys are faking this a little too much. Like, this is a little too much. So like something, I felt, well, and also money was mentioned a lot. And so at one point I thought Rachel was also in with the scheme of disappearing to get money. And then the documentary, because I knew that it was Rachel that tweeted about Rachel Price is really good. And then for a second I thought that the dad and Rachel, I always forget the dad's name, Charlie and Rachel were in cahoots. And then you're like, you'll get more money if you come back. That was like my initial was like, that everyone's involved, they all just want money because money was mentioned. Ash was the one that mentioned money. That's the motivation. And I was like, I think they're all involved in this. And Rachel just disappeared. I didn't realize why she disappeared. I thought she did it on purpose, like she did it for money. I don't know, that was my whole thing.
I could see that being like a solid theory.
And then everything started to unwind, and I was like,
I might need you guys to clarify something for me, because I was still a little bit confused. I don't know if it ever got fully answered. Was she gone for 16 years or 15 years?
She was gone for 16, but she was held captive
15.
for 15.
15 and 5 months and 22 days.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Nice
Clicked.
memory.
Okay, thanks.
It's just because I just listened to it this morning.
Clicked.
And she said she went to a small town and became like a maid to
That's right.
earn some money and get like things under control.
Yeah. I realized, so when she realizes that, when she says the thing about the bracelet,
Yeah.
and she was like, she had to have looked at my Instagram.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, okay, she's saying 15 because she somehow had to have escaped
Sooner.
whatever she was part of and was plotting something to, like,
That went right over my head. I didn't even.
Yeah.
Nope.
I texted you guys. I was like, the bracelet.
The skull bracelet.
The skull bracelet. I just didn't believe anything that came out of Rachel's mouth.
Same.
And I was correct for the most part.
I also knew that Charlie had something to do with it when she got the double-sided lock.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, she doesn't feel safe in this house. He's got to be involved somehow.
Yeah. Also, the one thing that also really bugged me is I know that Belle had like a lot of resentment and like didn't really trust Rachel, but she wasn't even trying to like fake it, to like get close to her.
Yeah.
And kind of like, you know, where you create a bond and then you open up, and like she was not even trying.
Yeah.
Like nothing at all. And I was like, okay, well, if she is lying, maybe if you pretended to get closer to her, she would open up about stuff and be like, actually, that's not really what happened. Like, I trust you. She wasn't even trying to build trust. And I'm like, that's where you went wrong. If you would have just tried to build the trust, I feel like things would have gone down a lot better.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have been as interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was the most logical thing in my brain. Just fake it, you know, fake getting close to your mom.
See, that's how Carter kind of figured it out, is because she was getting close
Mm-hmm.
to Rachel and she realized how similar she was to her.
Yeah.
I just cannot imagine the mother in me. I'm like, I cannot imagine like not knowing my child and then showing up and being like trying to play it so cool.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hi Carter, I'm your Aunt Rachel. Looking back at that makes me really sad.
Such a wild book.
It was very wild.
I got a little bit of whiplash, but it was fun.
It was a good, it was a fun
good
time.
time.
I think that was a good pick for a book club book.
Oh, one thing I thought, my first theory was that there was an affair that had gone on, that like Rachel was having an affair with Jeff.
Oh.
Or something like that. That was my first reaction.
When they first mentioned like Rachel being the mom to Carter, I was like, did Rachel sleep with Jeff? I don't know, but then I was like, that wouldn't make sense. How would Sherry be the one that's pregnant? So I was like, wait, no, that doesn't work.
Yeah, my first thought was that there was some sort of affair, because from the start I was like, I still think Charlie's fishy.
Yeah. Okay, should we do fan casts?
Yeah.
I'm really excited to hear your guys's.
I actually did fan cast this time around. Usually I don't.
I'm really proud of you, Kennedy.
Thank you. And they're okay. Keep the bar pretty low, everyone.
Keep the
okay?
expectations low. Mine.
Let's start off with Belle.
Okay.
Well, okay. I got to do actually Rachel first, because mine makes more sense if we do Rachel first. So let's do Rachel.
Okay.
Michaela.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah, why not?
Amanda Seyfried.
Ooh.
That's who I was going to pick.
Ooh. That's a good one.
But then in my mind I was thinking she was too young, but I don't know. That's what I
How
was
old
gonna
is
say.
she?
She's 37, 38.
I think she's pretty close to Rachel's age, I would say.
I feel like they also can make her look a little older.
Or younger.
Yeah,
She's
I
one
had
of those
her.
people.
I had her
Yes.
as like my first pick, and then I have a second pick that's a little bit older.
Who's your second pick?
Emily Blunt.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
That's a good one.
Okay, mine, she's probably a little too old, but I'm going to tell you why I chose this. Because they're actually mother and daughter.
Oh.
So I chose Reese Witherspoon and her daughter Ava.
Oh, I've never
What's her daughter
seen.
Ava in?
I don't know. I don't even know if she acts.
So it's Ava Witherspoon?
It's Ava Filippelli. Or Filippi. Filippi.
Philip. Wow. I
Let me
spelled
show
that
you.
really bad.
So this is her daughter. She's kind of a little bit... they just...
they
mother
do
and daughter.
look very
Oh,
similar. Cute.
Mother and daughter. That's why I chose them.
They look so similar.
Yeah. Which
Yeah,
in the
Reese would
book
be
they
good.
say that she looks more
Yeah.
like her dad, but... Well, no, people say she looks like
she
her.
looks exactly like Rachel.
That's why I chose those two, because they're actually mother and daughter.
Wow.
Interesting.
Who did you guys choose for Belle?
Do you want to go first, Reggie?
Yeah, her name Kiernan Shipka.
I love Kiernan Shipka.
She's the girl that
What
plays
was she
Sabrina in Sabrina.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I just kind of felt like,
yeah, okay.
I mean, Emily Blunt.
Yeah,
Than her.
You could.
I could see it.
You could pass them.
But I
as
mean,
mom
she
and
would
daughter.
work with Amanda too. Amanda both Emily and Amanda have the gray blue eyes.
Mm-hmm.
They're both fairly thin.
So
So
is
she's
Reese.
got to come back. She's got to come back and be like, I don't know.
They could both do it.
They both.
Did you cast John Krasinski as Charlie?
No, I thought about it, but I went with Hugh Jackman. I don't know why.
Mine doesn't make sense either. But wait, Michaela, do your bell.
Oh, her name is Morgan Lily.
Ooh.
That's like a
She
younger
kind of looks
version.
like Holly Jackson.
Really?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
does. Both blonde hair.
That's crazy. She is like the little girl in Flipped. Like the young girl in Flipped. Have you guys ever seen Flipped before? You guys.
I read the book when I was
The book
like,
is so cute. She
really
has
young.
like the blue eyes. I don't know if it like, I don't know. I just like finding people that are a little low key.
I get that. Yeah, I get that.
But I feel like they would look good.
Yeah, they would. Okay, who'd you guys cast as Charlie? Well, Reggie did.
I did Hugh Jackman, and I don't know why I was feeling that. Well, this is the thing. I originally picked Amanda Seyfried, and then it was just funny because for some reason I was thinking of Hugh Jackman. Don't ask me why I was thinking of Hugh Jackman. But then I was like, he played her father in Les Mis. I just couldn't.
I think
put
Hugh
them together.
Jackman works better with Emily Blunt than Amanda.
Oh, yeah. I just was I was trying to find a guy who could play this like loving father that you trust, that's like feel good, love your dad kind of guy, but then could also just suddenly be like turned into this kind of, I don't know, have like this weird dark side to him.
Oh, speaking of the dark side, more like the Dark Knight, I chose Christian Bale.
I did too.
No, you did not.
I did too. Shut up.
That's so funny.
Oh my gosh. Wow. I can't believe that.
I feel like he could pull it off. I feel like he could be that loving father.
I like Christian Bale with Amanda.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, because like he is a very charismatic person, but in like an American Psycho, he's like crazy, psychotic, and I'm like, okay.
I'm shook we both did that.
I know. That's crazy.
That is way funny. I like that.
Okay.
I just think Christian Bale.
For Carter, who'd you...
I'm excited to show you guys mine. Okay,
Ooh,
so this
guys.
is Kieran Shipka, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's her
Carter,
name?
I mean, you dye her brown, yeah.
That's
actually
McKenna Grace.
really good. That's pretty
They
dang
look
good.
very similar.
Dang.
McKenna Grace.
I think
She
you got the best
is-
mom and daughter cast, but we got the Charlie cast.
Yes.
Charlie.
She is on, why can't I think of what she's on? McKenna Grace.
Those are pretty good. Those
She
are really
is on
good.
that show where she plays that little girl with Chris Evans.
Huh?
A show?
The Gifted movie. Have you seen that?
Oh,
Ghostbusters. She's on the new Ghostbusters movies.
The Ultimate Gift? Is that what you're talking
No,
about?
it's just called Gifted.
Gifted?
Anyways, but she's 17 and the Kieran Shipka girl's like 19.
yeah. You
I don't know.
You've got
I
it
just-
on that. Yeah, those are good.
I almost thought they were the same person for a second because they look very similar.
Okay, I cast, and this isn't very good, but I cast Bailey Madison.
Oh,
Oh.
she's so cute.
She is really cute.
I feel like they could pass as like roughly related, but Reggie's winning, so I'm just gonna breeze past mine. What's your Carter?
Her name is Emily Carey. She's in House of Flame. Nope.
House of Flame and Shadow?
No,
Right?
House. What's it called? The dragon one. House of Dragons.
Oh. The
But
girl that plays the main girl?
No.
Oh.
But she could also work. Blonde.
Hmm.
Was it?
I don't know her name.
Let's see.
Now I'm wishing I would have said John Krasinski just to be like,
But the thing is,
family.
she looks older than the other girl that I did. She doesn't really have blue eyes either. I don't know why I pictured
people
her.
wear contacts all the time.
Yeah.
I think Reggie's got
Yeah,
those
she
casts.
does.
So okay, I actually, guys, I kind of like my Ash.
Okay.
Finn Wolford.
Oh, okay.
He's like long, gangly, little
Okay.
geeky looking, kind of.
Yeah. I
like
just
it.
don't think he's cute at all.
I mean, I didn't picture Ash being like super handsome.
I mean, I couldn't picture him as anyone but Harry Styles because
she mentioned Harry Styles.
well, it was like the goofy outfits and he was British and I was just kind of like, oh, like Harry Styles wears like stuff like that at his concert. And then literally the next page she was all like, see you later, Harry Styles. And so then the whole time I was picturing Harry Styles.
Is that who you cast?
No, I didn't really come up with a cast for him. I didn't pick anybody, but
That's
I
okay.
mean, you could say Harry Styles. He's
Right.
just too old for the part, I'd say. I mean,
He could look
pass,
young. Yeah, he could
but
pass
like
as someone
to be
young.
cast with those same girls, I'd say.
All right.
I did Joshua Bassett.
Ooh. Okay.
Hmm.
I also thought about Flynn Wolf, but I just don't think he's cute at all.
For some reason I just didn't picture Ash being this really beautiful looking boy.
I am pictured him being very cute. He was just really quirky.
I pictured him being nerdy. It's just so fun. It's funny how like you can read the exact same thing and picture things completely different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Joshua Bassett is pretty good though. He's got the curly hair.
Yeah. You just have to have an accent.
He could do it.
Yeah. But I like it, Flynn Wolf.
Honestly, that was a pretty solid fan cast from all of us. I'm proud.
Mm-hmm.
I am proud of us.
Proud.
Look at us go.
All right, guys.
Nice.
That was our episode for the reappearance of Rachel Price. We hope you guys enjoyed it. As a reminder, our May book club is Funny Story by Emily Henry. We're all very excited. It's going to be a good one. And if you guys like the podcast, go ahead and give us a 5-star review. Say something nice. It makes our day. And if you aren't already, go ahead and follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Our username is What She's Reading Pod. And thanks so much for listening. Hope you enjoy your Wednesday.
Bye.
Bye.